Hello, this is Miss Sally, my duck. You can see they have webbed feet. You can see that there's actually blood veins inside their feet. You see, most people don't know that they do have claws, and you gotta trim them if you know, 'cause this one's way too long. What's gonna happen is she's gonna end up pushing it back one of these days and snapping her own leg. So you have to clip those. And then also, what I do with we don't. I kind of sometimes we clip them, sometimes we don't. But if you clip them, you can't go back too far because you'll actually cut into their vein, and it'll let them bleed out. It'll make so they bleed out. So what usually what I do is we just take a grinder, just and we take a little like a drum sander, and just slowly work it back to where they're rounded, and until they're about to about here, to where this one is, right up there. And you can see that she's been outside for a little bit, so she gets, she has a little crusty poop on her, I guess. But anyways, and then also with roosters or chickens, what we do is we actually grind the beak around. But this is a duck, so we don't do that with ducks because they're already rounded. Everything, so. And another thing is it doesn't hurt when a duck does anything to you. And all my other ducks are joining her. They doesn't hurt when they snap at you or anything like that, because it's just a little beak, and they don't really mind you touching them like that. But you can see that they have this little lip that comes down from the top. It's like a little square. It comes down. That's made so that they can dig. This is actually a harder piece of beak right here than around here. This is how to help them so they dig into the mud. Because what they do is they have the beak so that they can filter out. Well, she won't show you, but they actually have little grooves in their beak so that they can filter out sand and silt and stuff. And everything. And also, you just gotta make sure that their noses are clean. Sometimes they'll fill up, like this one does. See? Because she had bogies. You just gotta, little things make them happy. And she's very appreciative of a nice little bath. What we do is during the winter we take them in, bring them inside, so they don't get cold and stuff. And then we put them into the bathtub and let them swim around. Because they gotta clean themselves too. Because if they don't clean themselves, they actually start losing heat. Because all the junk that gets underneath their feathers. So the oils don't work well. So the oils that are in their body, they don't work well if they get crammed up with a bunch of dirt and stuff. So that because the oil's there to keep it so that no water gets to their body. And the duck down actually absorbs a lot of the water sometimes. With the feet, after we do the grinding, we usually seal them up with usually sisters have fingernail polish like that. But you take the clear fingernail polish, or even a colored fingernail polish, and put it on there just to seal up their feet after, just to seal up their claws after, so that if they got scratched a little bit in a certain spot, none of the poop gets in there and stuff, and it hurts them. And also, when you get the ducklings at the stores, make sure there's no bands around their legs, because what I've heard of is that people didn't know that there was a band around their duck's leg, and the duck grew around it, and the band just just slowly worked its way into the leg and actually cut circulation off to the leg. So that's another thing to worry about. And now, another thing. Let's go over the wings. This wing right here. I'll show you. I had to clip their wings because they're flying up out the fence. What you do is you cut it. You make sure you know where the feathers come down in. So don't go any further than right here. All I do is shove my finger down to here, and then where my fingers meet right here, I cut one little swath of it that length, and I cut the other ones a little bit bigger, so that it doesn't get even distribution of the air, so that it can't get any lift. And it doesn't hurt them any or anything. As long as you go gentle, it doesn't disturb them or anything. But if you come underneath here with the camera, I'll show you. They have these little grooves inside their beak. Whoop. Oh. You can see them if you really. Come on. Oh, she isn't cooperating. But they have these little grooves that helps them filter out the sand anyways. And of course, she's noisy and everything. Well, anyways, these simple things that'll help you. Only thing about the roosters, you gotta grind their beak rounded so that they can't peck each other and hurt each other, everything, and you'll be good. I'm Ivan Boyer, and this is Sally.